And we're going to have a look at the self-healing power is already being put either by your God or your DNA. If you are a non-believer, if you only believe in science, does not matter. Whichever way it is, your body has the intelligence to heal from majority of the chronic health conditions. That deep dive into the neuroscience of self-healing and how handing hold with our Almighty God can absolutely heal us completely is coming in our second hour. The diversion that we're going to talk about is going back to Sri Lanka. When I was little, we have 4 children, my sister, my brother, myself, and my little brother. My father was an alcoholic. He left us when my little brother was only 6 months old. So we were raised by my mom single-handedly. You know, in third world countries, you don't get any government support. So my mom literally sacrificed herself and dedicated her entire life to protect us, love us, feed us healthy food, and educate us. We have never once been to a doctor. Not that my mom did not want us to go to the doctor, but she did not have the means to take us to a doctor, because if one child is sick, there's no one to look after the other 3 children. She always had something in her kitchen, whether we injured our body or skin scraped or any infection, she will fix us with something and always followed it up with, you can heal your body. That phrase ingrained in my mind, in my DNA, in my entire biology, that no one could talk me against that. The first time ever I saw a doctor when I was 26 years old. That also when I was away from home, I went for an overseas trip, but I had a flu and I thought I was dying, and then I ended up going to the doctor. We were raised as atheists and nobody talked about religion in my family because I'm a born Hindu. We used to have it's a tradition that every house will have a little room, a shrine, or a worship room dedicated to have all the pictures of God. In Hinduism, you have 200 different kind of gods. You can pray to anything. You can have a rock and call that your God and pray. It does not matter what you worship. What matters is what's your belief, whether it's helping you or it's not helping you. That is what now science also proving. I never knew who my God was, but I learned all about the Hinduism at school, and I went to the Sunday school that's teaching about the religion and the Hinduism and all sort of stuff. So I learned all of the ancient wisdom, how the Hinduism created the 5,000 years ago, Lord Shiva, all these stories I knew, the moral stories. Almost all of the religions being created to benefit the mental health of their own followers. But later stage, unfortunately, we had politics get into that, and that created all the division and all the rest of the problem. That's why majority of the people in this day and age are so reluctant to have or identify with any kind of religions because of the past history from early 1900 to up until even 1990s, even still now in some part of the majority of the problems is just originating because of the religious differences and beliefs and so forth. 72% of the Sri Lankans are Buddhism. So Buddhism, if you know it or not, is created from Hinduism because Lord Buddha is a Hindu. Then he went in to teach about the meditation, the benefit of the meditation for your own self-healing. And then that became a religion as Buddhism. If I remember correct, I think about 26% of Sri Lankans are Hindu, and the rest of the percentage shares between Christianity and Islam. So we have 4 religions in Sri Lanka. I was growing up, and we also used to have civil war. I think I should take you through that journey sometimes in the future. But then when, because of the civil war, there was no guarantee for our life. We could be shot and killed anytime. My father somehow, after we were all grew up with unthinkable challenges, especially for my mom, to keep us alive with that civil war and everything. He ended up coming back. He somehow drifted off to Switzerland. He worked. He was a good man, but he did not know how to care for his children and family. He had his own mental health issues. I think that's probably why he became addicted to the alcohol. But he came back to Sri Lanka and then sent my brother and sister to UK. And I was the one never ever want to go and settle in any of the Western countries. But I chose to go to India to study microbiology. So that story is coming. Let's continue our story from Sri Lanka all the way to Australia and down to the mid-north coast of New South Wales. Soon after finishing HSC, I did not know what to do. I was thinking, okay, I probably wanted to become a doctor. I got an admission at St. Petersburg in Russia back then. And you know, sometimes when you're a teenager and you're so stupid, you get easily brainwashed. Somebody came from Bangalore, India, and then they were doing some promotion about a course and so many different degrees they were marketing, and I went for this seminar and I enrolled for microbiology. I had no idea. See, sometimes universe or God had a plan for you even before you were born. Sometimes we think, okay, there's an accident or somebody cheated, somebody manipulated, but every single event, if you look back, had been orchestrated beautifully to get to your purpose of life that's been destined either by your own spirit, soul, or God-given destiny, however you see it. But at that time, I had no idea. Somehow, I thought, okay, I'm going to go study microbiology and see what all these pathogens are doing, these teeny-meeny creatures, through the microscope. I went to Bangalore. Actually, my father took me to Bangalore and then India. That was my first time ever away from country, and I was very pedantic with the kind of oil that Indians used. I thought I couldn't eat their food for entire month. I survived with fruits and vegetables only. My father told me something: if you don't get used to become flexible and adapt to the different cultures, you're going to have a very challenging life. I still remember that. But somehow he went back to Sri Lanka. I think that when he was in Switzerland, somehow he drifted off from back in 1980s. He went to India and then he went to Germany. He was very intelligent. He spoke about 5 different languages. And he also learned Deutsch from Germany when he was in a detention camp. And then he worked as an interpreter for the refugees who came from Sri Lanka because of the civil war. And then he went to Switzerland. So he had plenty of money. He was working there. But he never ever gave up on his alcohol addiction. I believe that he was still, we never openly spoke. I believe that he was probably still battling with anxiety and depression and so forth. When he came back to Sri Lanka, he kind of knew that he was not well. He was not in a good shape, but he tried to catch up with all the bad things that he did in the early stages of his marriage. He used to beat my mom, but anyhow, and then he tried to catch up with that. He left us, abandoned us and everything. Within that 1 year, he sent my brother and sister to UK, and he took me to India for studying microbiology. And then my younger brother was still in Sri Lanka. He was still in school. He tried to do everything, but he was, you could see that he hasn't transformed at all. Only 1 year after he came back, one day he went to bed. He had a lot to drink, and then he never woke up. He just passed while sleeping at the age of 50 years. So I came back from Bangalore for the funeral. So that was a story. Then when I went back, I remember I was 19 years of age. In front of our college, there was a Hindu temple. And I used to feel depression, like back in days, or I don't know, even now, not many families openly talk about your mental health issues, depressions, and especially your brain is developing the tender age of teenage or even young adulthood. I see a lot of young kids these days really struggle not being able to understand what's going on in their biology and in their psychology. So we never talked about depression or anything like that. I probably didn't even know the word at the time. But then I could feel that I'm feeling so weird. Now I see it was depression. I was feeling depression. Then I never talked to anybody. I thought it was only me feeling that way. Something wrong with me. Between my subjects, between my classes, I will, just across the road, go into the Hindu temple. The Hindu temples are usually very meditative, very quiet. Their musical instruments, their songs, and so calming. I would just sit down and so quiet. I had no idea who my God was. I had no idea how to even pray. But I just sit there and I ask this question: God, please help me. I do not want to feel this way. So that was the only declaration. That was the only question that I would ask. Why am I feeling this way? And I do not want to feel this way. 100% of the time, I walk out of the temple feeling really good, feeling myself. So it was nothing like dramatic, nothing bad, like a little bit of depression come and go. I go to the temple and I felt better. So this has been happening. Then I completed my studies. I went back to Sri Lanka, and that's the time the internet was in early 2000. Internet was coming. I was learning all about the 1998, 1999, learning all about the email, all the black and white computers, DOS computers. Was fascinating. Now, like AI, that time internet was big deal. Even email was like, now ChatGPT, Claude, all this stuff. I used to play one computer game like this jumping one. I don't play anymore. But they were also fascinating. I had a Kerala friend. I used to stay with her. We rented a unit and we stayed there. She ran a computer institute. So during my free time, I often go in there and help her out. I learned how to assemble computer from scratch, from buying the motherboard, putting the RAM and putting the hard disk, fixing up the fan, or developing CPU. All these things. And then I even, when she did not have the stuff, I will put my hand up and go buy Photoshop book and learn the easy steps and teach her students when she did not have staff turn up. So I really hooked on to Photoshop. I loved Photoshop. Then when I finished my studies, I went back to Sri Lanka in my hometown, Batticaloa, where I come from, the East Coast. There was no internet. There was no internet cafes. There were people who were still using dial-up internet, where you would just connect your phone line to the internet, and it wasn't super fast. So no internet cafe. I decided, okay, I'm the one going to start. So that time the civil war was really intensifying, a lot of shooting and killings happening in the east coast and northern Sri Lanka, and then east where the Tamil Tigers were. I'm Tamil. That's another story. Well, can take you through that journey for a diversional therapy about the civil war side of it. My brother and sister were in UK. My younger brother also went to UK. I was the only one there. My mom would never want to go to any Western country. She loved Sri Lanka. She wanted to stay in Sri Lanka forever. I said, I'm going to stay in Sri Lanka. And I started up an internet cafe. It was about 22 machine internet cafe. It's massive, big one in town. Rented a place. We had a computer internet cafe that was introduced to the community first time. We have desktop publishing and computer calling booth. People can come and make international phone calls. That was something new, and the service wasn't there. We provided that service. And then computer sales and also education. So 4 different departments. I had about 5 staff working for me. That was right in front of the police station in Batticaloa from 2021 up until 2024. The business was thriving. A lot of people need that service. We were expanding to education and sales, and everything was happening. But parallelly, the civil war was also intensifying. During this time, I was so engaged with my any kind of business or creative endeavor. You're passionate about it. Your body naturally heals. I did not feel any kind of health uneasiness in my body, if I remember. Not even a headache, because I'm so happy, very passionate about what I was doing. I was making a lot of money. I was traveling around the world. I already started traveling at the time. Went to Bangladesh to catch up with one of my friends. I used to study with her in Bangalore, and then I went to Malaysia, Singapore, all these places. I even went to UK, but then I came back. My brother and sisters were insisting me to stay back. You're going to be killed if you go back to Sri Lanka, and I wouldn't listen to them. I just came back. There was a lot of shooting. Oh gosh, it's an absolute total story. The Tamil Tigers actually started as a freedom fighters because of the discrimination. Because I'm a Tamil, there was a discrimination against Tamils. You couldn't get into the university even if you have the highest score, because Sinhalese got the priority. If they get 60%, they can get into medical university, medical college. But if you're a Tamil, you got to score 70% to get into the university. You can't get government jobs if you don't speak their language. All nitty-gritty of this discrimination, that's which build up into freedom fighters, Tamil Tigers. But over the course of that time, because they were not getting the justice, they picked up the gun and then they started fighting. That became riots in early 80s, and then they became rebels. They started killing each other, suicide attacks, and also all these things now happening. It was like I just grew up in the civil war, so there was nothing new to me. They're in Batticaloa, Sri Lanka. If it is curfew means you do not go out. If you go out, you can shot and be killed, no question asked, because curfew means you don't go out. So that's how it is. So a lot of curfews were happening. When there's a curfew, we need to shut down our business. Every single day we shut down, we lose money. To bring the internet, like an NBN here, To bring it from Colombo capital to Baticalo, we paid a large amount of money for a dedicated line, a lease line, 2 different lines to get this internet connected. So every day you close, you're losing business. So the shop's been closed for weeks and weeks on and week off, like that. My other brother and sister came for holidays, 2004 December. We were having a little barbecue, a birthday celebration for my little nephew. I remember he was probably about 4 years old. And then about 25 of us, close families and friends, we were catching crabs and having a little bit of charcoal barbecue machine all they brought from UK, having fun. It was Christmas Day, cutting cake and all sorts of stuff. And then it was a Saturday. Sometimes we stay in beach, like that's only about 5 minutes drive from our home. Stay in beach and some, we're all tired. We never drink alcohol. My family, nobody drank alcohol because of my father's thing. Anyway, culturally, no, family people do not drink alcohol back in Sri Lanka for some reason. But nowadays it's totally different culture now. It's all changed. So we were just playing and everybody was enjoying the beach, wanted to let's sleep here. And then my mom said, no, we need to go because kids are here, mosquitoes are there. And I also, Sundays, we close our business and I am saying I need to go and catch up with the business, so get everything ready for Monday. About 3 a.m. we all left home. Left the beach. We went home 3 a.m. Everybody slept. Because we slept late, we woke up, everybody slept in. So usually Sundays, my brother will wake up early in the morning and he will go to the adjacent beach where we were to buy fresh fish from the fishermen just coming out of the ocean after fishing. But that morning he did not go. So thank God, see, everything now looking back, the God is actually orchestrating your entire journey. He did not go, and about 8 o'clock, I remember, I feel like, the flies during the dusk, you get this kind of noise. People were running towards our house like in waves. We were so, save us in our language, like the water is here. Actually, what happened, tsunami, the first wave of tsunami hit. The people were like in Sri Lanka, nobody heard the word tsunami up until 2004 tsunami happened, because it never happened before that. The history shows maybe 800 years before there was one tsunami, but nobody knew the word tsunami. Nobody experienced, nobody talked about it. So they were all screaming, the waves are here. Then the people were, and we all went to the street to look at what's all going on. And my younger brother, who was working in a TV station in London at the time, so he had all these camera and everything for reporting some of the things. So he jumped into the vehicle. We had a vehicle for the business. And then I said, okay, I'm coming. Everybody jumped in. And then we went to the town, where the town and my place is cut off by a large river. It's 80 feet, big, massive lagoon, and over it a British-built bridge. Because Sri Lanka was ruled by British, Portuguese, and then British, and they built this beautiful bridge, and it still stands. Once you go on top of that, you can see where the lagoon, the river, is connecting with the ocean. You can see. So we actually witnessed the second wave coming from the top of the bridge, how it was washing the entire village along with the people and into the other side of the river, and everybody was washing off and hanging on to fridges and furnitures and capsizing a little boat. I witnessed everything. It was complete shock for the entire country. Where we were sitting the previous nights, imagine if we didn't come home, we would have been like not alive now. where we were sitting, 5,000 people died. There was Sunday school, all of the children died. So it was so sad. The following day, we all went digging for dead bodies and rescuing people, helping out. We all 4 of us were there helping out because, I had nothing to do because my business can't be open. Now my business gone completely. So that's where we were, the Boxing Day 2004. And then I'm going to tell you quickly, we are moving into, already we are in our second hour, quickly, how I get to Australia, because that's never in my wildest dream I thought I'll be in Australia. Never. So it was a coincidence. I would now say that it was God has a purpose for me here. Probably He brought me here different ways because I was so reluctant to leave Sri Lanka. That story is coming, and then we will quickly wrap up the science of arthritis, how you can heal arthritis, because I often see when people talk about arthritis, they tend to take the identity. We often mirror the people around us. If you were exposed to the people who really genuinely suffered from arthritis, whether they couldn't open the bottle, they have issues in their knees, in their joints, the suffering and the pain, and we identify with those things, and we also assume that we're going to have that same problem. And scientifically speaking, not only we internalize, we create that identity unconsciously, and also we manifest real condition in our body. So that's coming up soon. You are listening to Healing Frequencies with me, Amutha. We are talking about arthritis, and your body has the intelligence to naturally heal arthritis completely if you believe. Whether you believe or not, you are right. So what do you believe? You think it's permanent? Do you think it's there forever? Let me tell you the science underneath it. Your brain is a prediction machine. It does not wait to see what happens. It expects, and then it makes the body match the expectation. If you expect you're going to have arthritis at 50s, now the science proves you're going to have it. Researchers have shown this with the nocebo effect, not the placebo effect. So remember that we often talk about placebo. You could call it as law of attraction, or you can call it as your God, your faith. You believe something, you believe your God is going to heal you, you will be healed, because that is nothing but placebo. It's so much better to have the faith in God, because it's so easier to get our body healed. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And the researchers have shown this with the nocebo, Nocebo effect, the dark twin of the placebo. When a person expects pain, the brain produces more pain. When a person believes their body is declining, the brain sends signals that bring the decline closer. Your expectation becomes your experience, and your experience hardens your expectations, and it goes around. A belief, and confirmed by your feeling, and confirmed by your experience, and confirmed by your it's true to you, because the pain is in your body. You cannot deny that you had gone through this experience, this pain, and it is real. But that's why it's so challenging for many people to speak something that is not real, because you are healed and you're not healed is not real. But with the word of God, you can just say it. See, the science behind the God is what we will see it soon. So what happens is, I've seen many people, even if they're in 50s, if they heard the word, sometimes doctors themselves say they have some trouble with the joints, with the knuckles, with the knees, difficulty getting off the stairs. And I myself experienced, and my doctor told me that I was having arthritis. I said, I will never accept that. Do not put those kind of words in my head, because I know the power of words, our words, and more powerful when it comes from your own doctor, because many people look at doctors as God. Come on, they're there to treat your condition, help you manage your condition, help you not to get worse, but they're not there to heal. God can heal your body. Your body has the intelligence to tap into those healing potentials. So before we go deep dive into that science of how the placebo or the nocebo and the God's power works, let's go back to what happened after the tsunami. So 2004 Boxing Day, we had the tsunami. It was absolutely, what's the word, like a graveyard. Because the entire town was so quiet, not a little noise. People were in complete shock, because if this would have happened, say for instance in Jakarta or Sumatra or Japan, they probably already experienced tsunami before. But in Sri Lanka, nobody heard this word. Tsunami, not many people could even pronounce the word tsunami. People say, okay, that's T something like that. That's what people used to say at the time. But sadly, a lot of the people have lost their children. My sister's, one of my friends lost parents alive, 3 children died. And their sister in one family lost 2 children, parents alive. So 5 children in one family. It's so depressive, so sad. And I was helping out my brothers and sister. They were helping in different areas. And I was helping them with counseling, helping them with their mental state, and also helping them with typing letters. And a lot of these people did not know to write in English, getting them, reaching out for, because at the time I'm already helping a lot of people come to our business, Desktop Publishing, to type letters. I was helping them with getting visas for countries, Western countries, immigration letters, or reaching out to NGOs. I was helping them writing these letters and hardship, but it was not helping them at all. A lot of parents committed suicide after a month or 2. Some people just walk into the ocean and died because there was no hope, nothing to live for. They lost everything that they treasured, their children, their family members. It was very sad and depressive situation. Then in Sri Lanka, monsoon happens during the time, November, December, January. So it started to flood. My brother and sisters, they were going to leave for UK. Their holidays were coming to an end. And the final battle of the Sri Lankan war just quietened a bit because of the tsunami, because they were also in shock. But then they started to again clash between them, shoot here and there. A few shootings were also happening, but my business was completely gone and I had no idea what I was doing. But I was starting to feel, not necessarily depression, kind of weird. I'm not feeling really right. I need a new environment. I needed to go somewhere else. So then suddenly I had this stabbing pain in my lower abdomen, like very severe pain. I'm thinking, what is this pain? And when you go to university, you come back, you feel like, oh, you don't want to listen to your mother anymore, your mother's self-healing and stuff. You feel like you know a little bit more. So I was digging into scientific side of it, not that my own body is healing at that time. Why these problems? And I knew the head of the doctor at the medical hospital. And then I was speaking with him. He said, it could be your appendix. Come to the hospital, I'll just cut it off. So he's the head surgeon, very much respected. So I thought, okay, yeah, because it's so severe, I need something, whatever it is, it's on my lower right abdominal area. I went to the hospital. It's a government hospital, but you get priority in third world countries, especially Sri Lanka or India. If you know somebody, you get preferential treatment. You get up in the line and you get. But when I went and opened the hospital, I still do not want to be there. The curtains are like kind of exposed. No way I'm going to go into that bed. I said, I'm so sorry, doc, but I'm going to Colombo to drop my sisters. Let me see a private doctor there. He said, because of this reason, he said, that's fine. I went to Colombo. We all went, me, my brother, my sister-in-law, everybody went. It was so scary because the shooting was still happening and the floods happening on the way. It's a big journey to cross the road to go to Colombo, like 7 hours drive was so scary. You don't know you're going to end up live or dead. Whether you got killed by the rebels or the armies or you get killed by the flood. There's so many obstacles just to get to the capital city. So my brother and sisters, their family, they all flew back to UK. And I went to Apollo Hospital in Colombo. I went to Apollo Hospital and I was amazed by the technology, how the system, and I felt like I'm in a Western country. But they charge a lot of money. I had money, paid the money, and they did thorough investigation, and they came back and then told me that I had endometriosis. Oh, okay, never heard of this. And they said, don't worry, we just do a microscopic keyhole surgery. There is a little bit of blood clot, we'll just remove that. I said, okay, fine. And because the pain was so severe, see, now I'm looking back, because that actually happened, all the associated stresses that we talk about, majority of our chronic conditions are created because of the stress. So I was going through all this tsunami, my business going down, and dealing with other people's emotions. You might find sometimes when there are negative events happening around the world. So now, say for instance, Iran war is happening, or some bad stuff happening in America, protest happening in UK or Paris. When people are in a negative state of mind, it's called the collective consciousness, and we tend to get that emotion. Those kind of emotions are out of our control. That's why it's so easy to say like, okay, your negative emotions are creating stress. Of course, it's true. But sometimes those negative emotions are out of our control. They just come, these frustrations, anger, fear. They just in the cosmic energy. Because we are also the same makeup as the cosmos. We often talk about hydrogen, oxygen, helium. We get this energy in our physiology and then express as stress and then chronic health conditions. During the tsunami, so there was a lot of negative energy. I probably was getting all this negative energy, and I myself was stressed actually because of what was happening in surrounding my own life and the circumstances that created the endometriosis. When I am looking deep into how it was created and the scientific side of it behind it. But all I wanted to know is get rid of this pain. Like I could get a knife and stab my stomach. It was so painful. So that's it. One day I went in there. It was like the most luxurious hospital I have ever known at that time. They did a like, oh gosh, keyhole. The doctor came and explained everything like a Western country. I haven't seen this in third world country because one thing I never went to. Hey, excuse me. never went to a government hospital in Sri Lanka anyway prior to that, because my mom always told us you can heal. So we were never sick. We could heal our body naturally. And they did just a keyhole surgery. They gave me with a video of it. They took a camera out, they put it, I couldn't even see nothing. The marks all disappeared after a few weeks. That was so, I'm thinking, wow, I never knew this. I needed to go. Why didn't I become a doctor? I just missed the opportunity, I was thinking. And I watched this video of how they did it. They put a keyhole, put an instrument and cut this tiny little clot, and they took it out and they burned the area and everything. Like you watching it in the big screen, I was amazed. But then I'm thinking now, okay, stress is now making me ill. Now I need to go into holiday. I was thinking, okay, how about we go to Canada for a holiday? And then how about we go to Australia for holiday? So something told me go to Australia because it was warmer country. I never researched about Australia. I had nobody in Australia. Never even imagined I'll end up in Australia. I think I remember I watched once when I was eating lunch, the Sydney-Hobart race. And that harbour bridge and the sunny blue sky hit in my subconscious mind. That picture was there. Then I thought, okay, yeah, let's go to Australia for holiday. So that's what happened. We ended up. But even coming here was another big drama. I'm not going to go into that because we lost all of our passports by a human smuggler. Stole our passport. But anyhow, we ended up in Australia. I was looking for a job. We never went to Centrelink. My brother, anyway, he had experience working in UK, in Woolworths and here and there and everywhere. His English was really good. He got a shop in Pendle Hill, like a chicken factory. It was very difficult. We had to go 4 o'clock in the morning. Wait there. If somebody cancels their shifts, he will get called in to work in that ice cold factory of the chicken. And then he went and found a job after a few months in a local, I believe in Northmead. We stayed in Northmead, and then I started working in Westmead Hospital as AIN and paramedic nursing home. That's how my nursing career started. Then I got a scholarship, became an enrolled nurse, and then got a scholarship to become a registered nurse. Then went in to do masters. Going back to arthritis. At its heart, it's a condition of inflammation. And your inflammation is governed by your stress system. Now that science proves, it does not mean when we age we get arthritis. That is a totally misconception, wrong idea. But then, when you believe it comes reality, it manifests, then it comes reality. It's a snowballs. And your inflammation is governed by your stress system. Your stress hormone is cortisol. In the short term, cortisol can reduce inflammation, but when stress continues during chronic stress, our immune cells keeps its work and they pour out more inflammatory chemicals called interleukin 6, which inflames and damages your joints. And here is the science to back it. The SCRA study, the studies of the etiologies of rheumatoid arthritis, followed people at risk and found that perceived distress was linked to the development of inflammatory arthritis. There were many studies done actually with inflammation as the underlying mechanism. And your stress does not just live in your mind, it gets to our hands, our joints, our knees, our body can be as complicated as we think, or it can be as simple as we see. So which one or how do you see your body? Is it complicated or it's simple? That will change the entire trajectory of your self-healing when it comes to arthritis. Continuing our travel story, then when I started working in Westmead Hospital, I was literally blown away by the latest technologies, investigation, diagnosis, medication breakthroughs. The pain relief is the best. I sometimes think, oh, my only medication I take is Panadol, because anything I take just Panadol. I think it's a miracle medicine for Panadol. Totally. So I went ahead and did a lot of emergency nursing. I loved the emergency. I was still every now and again, especially during the winter time, I was having depression. And the only thing, I totally forget about my own healing potential at the time. And I was an atheist, right? I wasn't praying like when I came to Australia, following all the Western way of doing things. Okay, if anything wrong with my body, go to the hospital, go see the doctor. I just follow the books, whatever that I'm getting trained as a nurse. I went to see a few doctors and they said, oh, you're going through depression. They tried so many different medications, Cipramil, this and that, Jones Wort tablet. I'll try everything. They just not severe, come and goes. They get settled, but most of the times tablets didn't work for me. And then once I went to the doctor, I said, Doc, see, I'm feeling this depression. Is there anything that you can do other than these tablets? Because these tablets are not working. It's temporary, but once I stop, it's worse. No, I don't want it. And then he said, oh, we are doing an experimental intervention where we cut into your skull. We do something with your brain surface, not deep, but surfacically. It's not like, dangerous or anything. It's just a trial to help with depression. I thought, whatever. But somehow God is there somewhere to stop me from doing some crazy stuff. And I agreed, but at the last minute, I didn't sign the document. Thank God I didn't sign the document. But then depression went away. I went busy with my work and studies and all these things. And I remember I still started traveling. We didn't have children. So I did a lot of travel, tried to study something to keep myself engaged with life. And I remember 2010, I believe, I went to Scotland because my sister-in-law had some health issues. I just went for emotional support. I went there and I went to see her at the hospital, come home, literally just cooking for her, just an emotional support, chatting with her. Hey, I'm always positive. All my life I've been positive. Everything will be fine. You're in good hands and all sort of stuff. But then after I come from the hospital, there is a general saying, Scotland is always gloomy, always people feel depressed, like everybody feels depressed there. Oh gosh. But then I was feeling and I had my laptop, I put it on my bed, and then I started to pray. I was still never identified with any religion, but anytime I always pray. Doesn't need to go to a temple or anything. I just pray. I was praying, God, please help me. I don't want to feel this way. And I was watching a lot of YouTubes at the time, like a lot of motivational self-development YouTube videos. I was lying down, put my head down. I was feeling horribly bad. And I'm telling God, I'm here to help my family. Why am I feeling this way? I wasn't stressed. I wasn't nothing. But it was actually the Scotland depressive, gloomy, whatever it is, was affecting in my psyche. But I didn't want to feel that way. So I was praying, God, please help me. And then on the YouTube, I typed motivational speech, if I remember now. How many years ago now? 2010 to 16 years ago. I typed motivational speech or something. I hit search. There was a list of videos came, and then I pressed play the first one. Press play the first one. I had no idea who it was. I did not want to know who it was. All I wanted to know to feel good. And then I closed my eyes and I slept. And this message was a sermon, a Christianity sermon, and it was about everything this person was talking about from the Bible, and they were talking about masterpiece. Half an hour later, I woke up. I thought I was flying. I thought I was over the moon. I thought I could conquer the world. The depression left just like that. In an instant, it just left. I was transformed in that half an hour. I wasn't conscious because I dozed off to sleep. I don't know what happened to my subconscious mind. That with that message was, I was completely transformed, you could say, from worm to from caterpillar to a butterfly, like that kind of metaphor. You could use it. And then I wanted to know, what is this that happened to me? And I saw this was Joel Osteen, and he was preaching about how you are a masterpiece, you've been created by the God, and all of this beautiful language, the storytelling, everything did something to my psyche. The depression left in that second, never ever came back. 16 years I never felt depression. And in that instance, I felt a spiritual awakening. That changed my entire career pathway, everything. Then I went and I wanted to find out, how can this happen to me? That means everybody can tap into this intelligence from your body. It has to come from your body, but there need to be a supernatural power, whether you could call it God or whatever it is, needs to be there with the power of our own human language, because we all are powerful. We can heal each other. I wanted to dig into the science side of it. That's when I went to study the masters, and the long story short, I developed the self-heal sequence, which often talk about how you think, how you feel, how you speak, and then write about it. And then you take inspired action when it's come to healing chronic health conditions. Every time, okay, now I can think I do not have arthritis. I will never have arthritis. But in your body, you're already suffering the pain of the arthritis. It is so difficult to bring in the thought because it's a total negation. It is not true in your experience. So how are you going to convince your logical mind, I will never will have arthritis, when you're actually feeling that arthritis in your body, the pain that you're going through. Your knees are buckling when you get on the stairs. Your joints are hurting when you even try to do a simple task. So it is impossible. So when I was doing these self-heal sequence tools, I am thinking, what can help? The only tool that in my experience is, of course, the faith. The God is the most important. I don't know if I can degrade this to a tool, because I've been using prayer as a tool all my life, all this time. But God must believe there is a God. Then you cannot just heal your body. So many things you can create: abundance, you can fix your relationships, because relationship, another majority of the time, create our health conditions. Money problem, financial problems are creating our chronic health conditions that we talk about is many times. So faith and believe in God can actually change your thoughts. So what we are trying to do here arthritis, are you taking the identity? I want you to see. So I would never take this identity, because many years ago I had a life-threatening autoimmune disease where I couldn't even peel a garlic. I couldn't get on the stairs. My knees were buckling. I would hold on to the rail to get up the stairs. I was working in one of the islands. And my doctor said, "You having arthritis." I was just swear to God, I was just swear at the doctor. I said, "Do not use these kind of words to me. I will never be identified." And it's gone straight away, because that's the language I speak to my own subconscious mind. Whatever the condition that you get, you must think that it is temporary. Never ever, even if your best friend, if your circle of your friends are suffering from arthritis, it is so easy to mirror. This is called the mirror neurons. We mirror the other people who are closer to us, that as though these are all happening unconsciously. So be aware of the people that you are mingling with. Sometimes it's so difficult to avoid such people. Maybe they're your loved ones, maybe you can't do it, but you can get your mind control with the help of the God. You can pray, and you just heard the story. How many years of I suffered from depression in one instant disappeared and never came back for 16 years. And one of the greatest testimony that I have, I'm a non-believer. I don't have a religion. I have religion, all too many religions. I'm a Hindu, I'm in the Buddhist country, and then I'm baptized. That story is coming anyway. Right? So I have too many things, but I always had a faith. I always have a belief. I always have a superpower. I couldn't put a picture of who that is, but it's always work for your own good, because you are good. You made good. There is no illness supposed to be there in our body, because I have been with a lot of people in their 80s and 90s who never had arthritis. So if they can do it, why can't we do it? So the number one in the self-heal sequence is think. So how are you going to think that my arthritis will be gone tomorrow? Sometimes even you think, because it's been manifesting in our body, it takes a while to catch up. Number one, our beliefs changes. The self-heal sequence is designed to change your belief. So if your belief is this is permanent, then we cannot activate our self-healing chemical from our body. So number one is think. You are what you think, right? You probably heard about from millions times from anywhere, or from all the geniuses. And then you also heard that we did in our shows here, our thought create our emotions. If I think something bad is going to happen, we create negative emotions in our body. Or if you fear about something, that's why they talk about positive thinking. Or you just believe in God. It's so easy. Just believe in God. It's so easy. I just cannot stress on this one. Thought and then emotions. So sometimes it's difficult to change your thought, because the condition is already manifesting in your body. You're living with that. So try that tool. Thinking, can you change it? Great. If you can't, change your emotions, stay happy. That's why we talk about all the funny stuff and diversional therapy. How to get your emotions, engage in something, have a life purpose, go help somebody. You know, the best time we can heal our health condition is not focus on our condition. Go and help somebody who are in need. This is diversional therapy again. When we are focusing too much on our condition, it gets bigger. When we go and help somebody else, whether you can call it God or karma or whatever it is, our problem will be resolved. Number 3 is the language. Sometimes we cannot control our language, because that is our belief system. So I'm giving you the self-heal sequence to change your belief system. So the best way how you change your language is speak the words from the Bible. When I learned first about that, when I was healed from depression, I'm thinking, what is in the Bible? I just wanted to study. I wanted to link all the science in this Bible. I was blown away. Every language, everything on the Bible is just science. It's just science. So that's why I'm trying. I'm not the best in creating all this declaration, but I'm practicing to get more powerful, impactful sermons towards the end of our shows that can actually become sermons and then can influence your subconscious mind for healing. Language, what you speak about your arthritis. Sometimes we don't think twice about what we're talking about, but I want you to take very serious about the language that you speak about. Don't say the word my arthritis. Once you say my arthritis, your own subconscious mind believes everything comes out of your mouth than even your doctor. It says, oh, he's calling that I'ma keep that condition in his legs. Or you can improve, like it's been bad, but I'm getting better. We don't have to explain to people. Just tell them it's getting so much better than it was yesterday. So we are a little bit moving ahead in that. Then your body will catch up. Sometimes it might take months to catch up because these conditions are getting overwritten on our genetic material. So we have to rewire with the process of epigenetic. We're rewriting the genetic makeup again. So it takes time for the physiological manifest soon after we change our beliefs. So don't expect a sudden improvement. And then if you don't, I prayed, I talked and nothing changing, and then you get depressed, means you're losing momentum. We cannot afford to lose momentum. Keep believing. My only question I ask my client, my patient, are you going to lose anything just by believing? If the answer is no, then keep believing. You're not going to lose anything. Keep believing your God is going to heal you. That's it. At least it'll create a good chemical. You will feel good. You can have fun with your friends and with your children. Or self-heal sequence 4 is written. So think, feel, speak, and then write. When I was diagnosed with an autoimmune, I had a hyperthyroidism. I was dying. I was on an island at the time. Nobody could diagnose. They were checking my heart because my heart would beat like 150 beats per minute. My heart would want to jump out of my throat. My blood pressure was through the roof. I wasn't taking any medication because I'm not used to taking medications at all. But my doctors were giving medication, but I knew this is not my heart. I knew this is not my blood pressure. This is something else. But then when I first came to mainland and went in to do the actual investigation, it was autoimmune disease. My own immune system was attacking. My thyroid was attacking my entire body. I lost 20 kilograms in 3 months. Doctor says the only surgery, otherwise you're going to die. In my eye. And I was getting angry. I'm thinking I can't get angry because I was killing myself with anger and all this stress, right? And I can't even get angry with the doctor because if I get angry with the doctor, I'm gonna die. So only thing I had is pray, God help me forgive this doctor. I went to see 5 different specialists because I'm in the middle of the health system. I want somebody to understand me, listen to me, that I can heal my body. Nobody. I said, okay, fine, give me the medication. I took the medication, but I self-healed. It's a big story. All I did, I wrote it down. I followed my own self-heal sequence with the help of God, of course. God was there with me all along. I wrote it in a piece of paper. I will be completely healed in 3 months. And I stuck it on my mirror, on my laptop screen, on my bed head, everywhere I can see, because the written words are more powerful than the spoken language, because once you write it down, it's like it's done in concrete. There is no doubt it's been done. To tell you the truth, I completely healed in 5 months. So it didn't take 3 months, 5 months. Who cares? I didn't have to go to surgery. I healed. I proved all the doctors wrong. They were shocked. They said that they never seen, because my condition, they said first time in their life experience, because my T3 was 70. My TSH was, the machine couldn't even read that low. T4 was 36. That was very severe case, and I healed myself completely in 5 short months. Weaned off the tablet. No doctors would suggest that, because I did my own research. I don't recommend this. Don't do this. Weaned off the tablets in 5 months. I completely healed. It's been many years now, and that was possible with the help of God. And when you have your belief, that unshakable belief, then your actions will follow. In our self-heal sequence, first is think, and then feel, and then you speak the word of what you want, and then you write it down, and only the 5th one is the action. Then your action, you don't have to force yourself. Your actions will follow your belief. And sometimes if you're confused, I don't know what action to take, always ask God, because He's going to give you the right answer, and sleep on it. You will wake up with the right answer for your next action. Sometimes it's the action what your doctor's asking you to do. It's just follow that. Never resist the doctor, because who knows? It's God is the one asking you as a doctor. We don't know what's going on, because every single one of us are different, and our journey is different, and our health conditions are different, even though we label it in one language, but it works totally differently. With our one is our genetic makeup, but the other one is our belief system. Our belief system is totally and completely different. Completely DNA, total different way how it's work in mediocre way. So trust in God and have the faith that you will be healed, and I have no doubt you will be completely healed. Give some time. Patience is virtue. That I do not have to tell you this, you already know. When it comes to health, we don't have patience. Okay, doc, just chop this part off of my body. That's the first thing. Because we do not have patience. I would have done that. That means I would have gone for my entire life without thyroid, because I know the consequences, because I'm a health staff. I work with people who have done the thyroidectomy. And what do I have to do? How many tests I have to do every fortnight, every month? And I did not want to go through that. So I self-heal. Maybe for you, it is totally different. So be fine with that. The most important thing is staying happy and having the belief that you have the intelligence. And it is not in the woohoo world anymore. It's not just religious, not just the faith, but it's science. As we talk about the science and God are meeting. That is the speciality of our show. Hang on to, never let go of the faith of the God. It's always going to help you when you are clueless, when you are fearful, when you have nothing to hang on to. I'm going to tell again and again and again, have the faith in, no matter whatever the color of the God, no matter whatever the religion it is, believe in God. He will never ever let you down. We are coming to an end. We're going to listen to our next show will be taken up by beautiful Elizabeth. She's right there at the studio, and I'm looking forward, and appreciate your time.
Amutha Kan, the power flows, a seed of peace within you grows. The pharmacy of soul and mind, leaving every fear behind. Every cell begins to sing to the balance that you bring.